Pickle, it's week 1 of the Texas high school football season.
Yeet.
There are 730-something games scattered hither and yon, east to west, north to south, even some places in between those 4 cardinal directions. Big games everywhere, every classification, from 6A down to private school 6-man. But the question we get all the time here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football is, all right, what are the big games? Mm-hmm. My mom, this is 100% true. My mom asked me that last night.
Oh,
Just
nice.
So what are the big games this weekend? I'm like, Mom, I'd love to tell you. I'd love to tell you. And so I and the Dave Campbell's Texas Football crew, each week, we're going to put together our list. Mm-hmm. We're going to put together the top 10 Texas high school football games that you should be paying attention to this very week on week 1. Without further ado, the week 1 DCTF top 10 games of the week. We'll go kind of around the corner. We'll start in the middle.
Let's start with the headliner.
The big
here.
one. The big one. Now, the one in the middle is just the one we're going to have photos of. I should tell you. It's not necessarily the number 1 game. These are not in any sort of order.
No, it is the headliner, darn it.
Lorena and China Spring.
This one literally could be considered the headliner.
Matchup of defending state champs. China Spring, the 4A Division II state champions, moving up to 4A Division I. New coach Tyler Beatty will be joining us here in just a few moments. Mm-hmm. They're taking on Lorena as the Leopards, 3A Division I state champion. Coach Ray Biles back. Jaden Porter back in the mix. I'm very excited about this game.
Super amped up.
4A versus 3A matchup. Remember, China Spring did beat Lorena last year. Mm-hmm. Lorena still went on to have a pretty decent year. Yep. But very excited about this game. 7:30 p.m. Friday night in China Spring.
I believe our reporter, Paige Schnorbach, will be out there for Bally, too, so you can catch
awesome.
the highlights on that.
Fantastic. We'll swing it around, starting in the top left.
All right.
Saturday at Kincaid Stadium, 6 o'clock Saturday. It is the Duncanville Panthers and the South Oak Cliff Golden Bears. The South Oak Cliff Golden Bears begin their title defense of 5A Division II. Very excited to see what they do. Quarterback questions on both sides of this ball. Mm-hmm. Duncanville and South Oak Cliff. Who is able to answer their question better? So we're very excited for Duncanville and South Oak Cliff. Going to be a big one Saturday at Kincaid Stadium. 7 o'clock Friday night. One that may be flying under people's radar. Aledo. Moving up to 5A Division I, and they will take on the number 1 team in the private school ranks, Dallas Parish Episcopal.
5A Division II, right?
No, they're moving up to 5A Division
5A
I.
Division I?
Yeah, they moved up to 5A Division I. That's going to take a minute.
Yeah.
I know. This game, they're at Parish Episcopal. This is a really interesting measuring stick, I think, for both of these teams. For Parish Episcopal, a team that's got bona fide TAPS Division I state championship aspirations, they are loaded for bear, but they get a big challenge in week 1 against Aledo, a team that needs no introduction. Questions for Aledo, strangely on the offensive line, which is going to be interesting. I'm interested to see how they match up there. But Aledo and Parish Episcopal, big game, 7 o'clock Friday night on our top 10. Also on the top 10, a game bottom left, a game that lost a little bit of its luster yesterday, but 7 o'clock Saturday at Allen Eagle Stadium in the Landry Classic. It is Lovejoy taking on College Station. The reason this lost a little bit of luster, if you didn't hear, Marquise Collins, the superstar running back for College Station, has been ruled out for the season with, did we catch the kind of injury?
No, all I was told was injury.
Injury.
Regardless, a big blow. It's got to be something pretty severe knowing that he's out for the rest of the season.
It stinks.
Yeah.
It stinks on ice.
Because he was
it's okay to say it.
Their hope.
Yes. Very, very, very difficult. So College Station, still, of course, a 5A Division I state runner-up a year ago, taking on the number 2 team in 5A Division II, Lovejoy, who may have one of the best receiver corps in the nation, there with Jackson Lavender leading the way. How does College Station look now, both without their starting quarterback, Jet Huff, off to the next level, and Marquise Collins now out for the year with an injury.
And a new coach.
And new coach, Stoney Pryor, taking over his coaching debut there. 7:30 p.m. Friday night in Tyler, Texas. Live on TexanLive.com.
Let's go.
You can watch the Gilmer Buckeyes take on the Chapel Hill Bulldogs in a game we're going to talk more about in the picks video. But this is a tantalizing top 3 matchup in 4A. Gilmer number 2 in 4A Division 2. Chapel Hill number 3 in 4A Division 1. This game's going to be fabulous. 7:30 p.m. Friday night live on TexanLive.com.
Don't miss it.
Meanwhile, in a really interesting neutral site matchup, 7 o'clock Saturday, flying under the radar, Pleasant Grove out of Texarkana will take on Brock in Greenville. Mm-hmm. That game, 7 o'clock Saturday night, a massive match. Of course, Brock, a state runner-up from a year ago, Pleasant Grove, we have very high hopes for. We talked about how young they were last year. They're bringing back a ton from last year's team, and still going to be babies, still going to be juniors, stuff like that. So
they've all grown a lot, though,
yeah.
man.
Brock
They
is,
might be babies from like age standard, but how they look does not look like babies.
Brock is the number 1 team in 3A Division 1. Excited to see what that game looks like, because it's going to be a hard-hitting physical matchup with 2 offensive and defensive lines getting after it. 7 o'clock Saturday in Greenville. 7:30 p.m. Friday night in Austin. It is the number 1 team in 6A Division 1. The Austin Westlake Chaparrals begin the Tony Salazar era as they welcome in a very game Fort Bend Ridgepoint squad that I think is going to be able to test them, especially defensively, in a few different ways. This is a Ridgepoint team that does have a fair number of big-time playmakers coming back from last year's team. Most notably, they bring back Carson. They're going to bring back Izell Jolly, who was a really kind of elusive, shifty running back. They're working in Carson Gordon. I'm very interested in what the Westlake offense looks like, right?
Yeah.
The Westlake offense has a new quarterback, a new
Coach
coach.
is a defensive guy.
Exactly right. So a lot of questions there for Westlake. We'll answer a few of them 7:30 p.m. Friday night in Austin.
Well, and if I'm not mistaken, Fort Bend Ridgepoint originally had another game scheduled and said, "Oh no, we want to bow up to Westlake." Like when the offer came out and they took it. Like that's that's testing your team
for sure. 7 o'clock Thursday night. That's right, tonight.
Let's go.
Down in Galena Park, as the defending 6A Division I state champion Galena Park North Shore Mustangs begin their title defense against the Woodlands. I am really interested in the Woodlands. I think that they have a chance to really crash the party. Maybe Matauer, a 3-year starter at quarterback. Their defense is going to be the normal Woodlands defense, I think. This is a Woodlands team that is flying under the radar. They get to test their mettle up against the number 1 team in 6A, or rather number 2 team in 6A, the number 1, defending state champs in 6A Division 1 in North Shore. Caleb Bailey, the quarterback, back with David Amador, etc. What does North Shore look like, this version of North Shore? Excited to see what this game tonight, 7 o'clock Thursday night in Galena Park. Tonight in Beckville, in front of the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Crew, 7:30 p.m. tonight in Beckville. It is a top 10 matchup between the Beckville Bearcats and the Timpson Bears. This game is going to be really interesting. Traditionally, past few years, Timpson has had their number because Timpson's really had everybody's number.
Yep.
They bring back Terry Bussey. He is worth the price of admission in and of himself. There are some questions, I think, on the defensive front for Timpson, though. We have some questions there. Beckville's offensive line figures to be really ready to go, and they have an outstanding group of playmakers that I think could make them pay. They've got the running back whose name is escaping me at the moment, Jacoby Williams, who was such a game changer as a sophomore, back for his junior season. This is going to be a fun game with explosive plays. I'm excited to go out there.
Well, and if you remember too, Powers dropped a little nugget on Wednesday saying that he anticipates that Jacoby Williams' younger brother, who is a freshman, might have made the varsity squad, and enough as in made the varsity squad, but might even be playing tonight. And he heard that he is a dude, so we might get our eyes on a very fresh prospect there from Beckville.
And rounding out the top 10 games of the week, according to Dave Campbell's Texas Football, let's go to the 6-man ranks. Let's go to the Jayton Gridiron Classic as the May Tigers take on the Jayton Jaybirds in a really interesting matchup. May, of course, the state runner-up from last year, now taking on a Jayton squad that we've got very high hopes for. Jayton, I think, has an opportunity to really crash the party. They host this classic. It's a great, I think they play 7 games over the course of Thursday, Friday, Saturday. But with Caden Valerio, Jaden Rivera, Caleb Beck back there, May's got some questions. They're losing guys like Caden Hawk.
Hulkamania.
I am very intrigued by what May looks like, and Jayton playing at home in the opener, especially being, they bring back 9 starters from last year's team.
I was so high on Jayton last year too, like to know that they bring them all back.
This is gonna be a fun game. I think this is the showcase matchup of the Jayton Gridiron Classic, which is saying something. But anyway, there it is, your top 10 Texas high school football games this week. Make sure you get out to a game or stay home and watch them on TexanLive.com. We got how many games we got this week, executive producer?
We're up close to 40, if not over 40. Wow. Tune in to WTF at 2. We'll be going through like the full Texan Live schedule, basically. So there's a tease for you.
Good tease. That's a lateral tease.
Thank you.